I ain't never satisfied, so I stay on top my shine. Can't let chances get by. I know most of y'all gon' love me, and some of y'all gon' hate me. I can't wait to see the look up on their faces when I said I'm up the greatest. I ain't never satisfied. I stay on top my shine. Can't let chances get by. I know most of y'all gon' love me, and some of y'all gon' hate me. I can't wait to see the look up on their faces when I said I'm up the greatest.
Be any more the fuck specific. Time changes faces when all you have to do is pictures of big business and people you never witnessed, and the bitches so out of your league they over the fence. Like Barry hit it, but you up in your mind, Lord. I'm something I'm not a part of. Part in love, fulfilling the difference and Aquanauts. Don't start with me because really I don't feel you should talk to me. Acknowledge me as young and free. On the young ass beat, I earn my seed. I tell y'all fucking love, make a song and name me, you ain't fucking with us. They line if we not up and down trying to fall and stroke my car off. That shit you want ain't real, something we'll never rip or we'll never feel. Not talking about.
I always hold it down. I ain't never satisfied, so I stay on top my shine. Can't let chances get by. I know most of y'all gon' love me, and some of y'all gon' hate me. I can't wait to see the look up on their faces when I said I'm up the greatest. I ain't never satisfied. I stay on top my shine. Can't let chances get by. I know most of y'all gon' love me, and some of y'all gon' hate me. I can't wait to see the look up on their faces when I said
What's good, everybody? What's good? We back in the building again. Another evening down.
Yeah.
It's your homie Q in the building again. Here with my kinfolk Rito. Waiting on my man E and so one to come in the building. But we go ahead and kick this show off while we wait. Already, man. I'm telling y'all. Man, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing out there? Oh man, another week down, close to having this week done. You know, I actually kind of had to miss a day of work again, man. Wife, car, and shit. But hopefully, we finally got that stuff situated. Being here watching these these whack ass fighting Jerry Jones is about to lose his game to the Vikings. They better not lose. You already know I'm coming out there for all them. All those Cowboys fans.
That nigga's a hater.
Nah, I ain't no hater, man.
But, I'm an Eagles fan, but man.
Some folks be, they fire themselves up somewhere. I'm like, man, hold on, man. It's you forgot last year y'all were where? But I ain't knocking them, man. You know, I'm put like this. I'm a realist. You know, they're like the Yankees and stuff. So whenever they play well, the NFL does well.
Yo. Pretty much. Hey, there you go.
Hey, what's good, bro? So wonder.
Just saying, what up, Just, man? I was just hitting y'all up right quick, man, while I had a minute, man, to say what's up, man. Where's Eric the Silent?
He had some stuff that happened, man. He had to he got called in to work and he got to be there still, and I think they said it was like a emergency, some kind of work issue. I don't know.
Oh shit.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
Well, I just saying what's up,
keeping
man.
Quiet boy away.
Get back to my dinner. I hit y'all when I get to the crib.
All right. But man, though, like I'm actually happy myself. You know, rocking the Titans. You know, even though our division is trash, but we're still second in division, and we still potentially could get in the playoffs. So, hey, we good.
Second place in the trash division, like
going back to
like bottom of the barrel still.
Hey, no, remember when the 79 Seattle beat what was it, the 12-4 Saints back in 2007? Hey man, anything is possible.
Yeah. The only issue is this though. Seattle still won their division.
Yeah, I know.
So,
but that's what I'm saying. You know, we can right now, as long as the Texans have the Wizard of Oz, Brock Osweiler, the only quarterback to throw a fumble, as long as he's their starting quarterback, it's gonna be rough.
He pulled the greatest Jedi mind trick on all Texans fans. He was, I am gonna be good. I am your starting quarterback.
You know, I give him after this year. If he stays this way for the next few years, he has to start. We have to start looking to get his application to being Hustler of the Year as far as sports wise.
Oh yeah.
Now, we're probably watching one of the biggest hustlers in Sam Bradford. We don't know who what dirt Sam Bradford got on somebody, but there's a reason he stays in the NFL.
He's like, I'm telling you, man, he like Mark Sanchez. I have no idea why Sanchez is still in the league. After the butt fumble issue, like, you no longer have a job to me. You ran into the back of your own teammate and fumbled the ball. And then the other team picked it up and scored. Like, come on, dog. That ain't even almost funny.
It would be hilarious if he would have somehow like got a concussion from that.
Not
funny, but just the irony of it.
He ran into the back of the dude, fumble, and broke his collarbone.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, man.
Which will raise way more questions than I have answers. So exactly, it is what it is.
But we'll go ahead and stay in the sports realm, and we're actually gonna talk about my man Al Horford. You know, congrats, the homie.
Yeah, Al Horford
baby
had
girl.
A little one. Oh,
yeah.
Good luck on that one.
Who you telling? I got girls here, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
He got the bread. He'll be all right. You broke, so it is.
Oh shit! Hey, damn. I don't know, man. Because no matter what my man Royce the 5'9" said, man, look, he didn't seen women break down millionaires. He said a little bit different, but so. But
that's true.
It's funny though with that same story that you had this this radio show host called Michael Felger. I want to say it's how you pronounce it. Told him that have stayed away from the, like, he should have played when Boston went to go play Miami. Matter of fact, who are the starting players for Miami outside of Chris Bosh if he's even playing?
Hassan Whiteside.
Mm-hmm. That's probably where it falls off. Unless
and a couple other folks, I don't know. I just know Hassan Whiteside.
Unless Dragic is still playing there.
Dragic might be. So okay, they got Dragic, maybe Bosh, Hassan Whiteside, and two other people who nobody really knows about. I mean, they kind of like the Pelicans, and they're kind of like the Pelicans and the Kings.
Oh.
One, maybe two people. Other than that, you don't know who their team is.
Actually, I only know one person to play for the Kings, and that's Boogie.
That's Cousins. That's it. You only know Boogie Cousins. That's it.
But it's funny. So you got this guy. He told Al Horford that you still should have played in the game against Miami, which is I ain't gonna say a pointless game, but it's 20 games into the season. It was to win, but you tell this man to pass up on the birth of his child, or only spend a few hours there, go play in the game, and then come back. It wouldn't have taken that long. Talking about he missed the birth of his own child, and I'm like, hey man, just because you hate your family like that don't mean anything.
Yeah, man. Like, come on, dog. Like, who knows? That might be his first kid. I don't know. I don't even know the dude that well. But let's say that's his first kid, and if that's his first one, you don't want to miss a moment with the first one. You don't want to miss a moment with any of your kids.
Yeah, I'm like, you can have 100 kids, you still gonna want to be there and make sure everything go well. Make sure you don't have to choke out your girl because she got a story to tell. So yeah. I'm just saying. So yeah, you're gonna want to be there, and the fact that you tell this man, look, your job is more important. You as an athlete is more important than the birth of a human being. I don't know what to tell you.
Yours. No, not just the birth of a human being. The
birth of
a human being that you help create.
So
your job is more important.
Yes.
It's like, it was a cartoon. I forget if it was Family. I think it was Family Guy. Where they was like, what's more important to you, your job or your family? And don't pick the obvious one.
I mean, it's funny though, because I look at it like, this is a one-time thing. You don't get that back. You can't go like you'll be able to play Miami sometime later on this year or next year.
You're gonna play Miami at least 3 times this season.
Exactly. But you have the birth of a child once. with at least with that one. So I'm like, and that's that corporate mindset, man. You know, your job is more important than your life, and that's a
how
whole
they
other
think.
story, man.
I swear that's how these people think. Like, damn your kids.
Yeah,
You
man.
don't see them tomorrow.
Yeah, I've been worked for people who didn't said. I remember one time when my daughter was born, the youngest one was born, and I think at the time I was working at part time at Pizza Hut, like on the side. And I called, my wife went into labor. I called her and said, "Hey, look, I'm not going to be in. My wife just went into labor." No, I don't even think I said I'm not going to be. I said, my wife just went into labor. We're going to be at the hospital. So are you not coming in? I said, hold on, let me rephrase this to you. My wife is about to have a baby.
My wife is about to have my kid.
And she was like, well, I just need to know if you're coming in. No, I'm not going to be there. I was like, why do I have to be so? Okay, I guess. And then she was like, well, when are you going to come back? When I have the opportunity to.
When am I going to come back? What the fuck kind of question is that? What do you mean when I'm going to come back?
And I'm like,
as soon as possible. I'll be back. You know what? I'll be like, look, I'll be back. I'll be back in 2 days.
Man, I promise, man. Some of these lower end jobs, and I'm not knocking anybody to work there. I understand everybody's at a different level, but some of these lower end jobs be trying to act like ugly people out in the world. Like y'all really got priority over a lot of stuff. I hate to say it's fucked up, but it's nah, man. I'm making minimum wage. You want me to put this as top billing over my life? Fuck off. Hell no.
Yeah, it's like, man, come on. All right, prime example. My oldest brother. He had his first kid. When he had his first kid back in 20. Oh, this was going to be 3. So he had him back in 2013, and we were working together. So he told our supervisors and stuff. He was like, "Yo, my wife is at some point finna go into labor. I don't know. As soon as I get that call, I'm out." And they understood. Now, this is a construction company that prides themselves on the attendance of their workers and making sure that, because they get paid by hour. They get paid. The company gets paid according to how many people are at work and how many hours everybody puts in. Right? It's kind of like school. Yeah. School gets paid. A lot of these schools get paid off attendance. You know what I mean? If the attendance is up, then that's how they get paid, or they get their funding or whatever. But if you suspend kids, even the SAC kids, if you suspend them, well, then the school's actually losing money. So it ain't got nothing to do with production, because we actually were still able to get a lot of work done. These cats will, some people will understand. Some people will be like, hey, man, look, we're family oriented business. We understand that family comes first whenever it's a big issue. So, that's, hey, if you got to take off for your kid, see your kid get born, go ahead and do that. When you come back, you still got your job and all of that old stuff. And if it were me, it'd have been different. They'd have, because I was driving one of the dump trucks. I probably would not have been in the dump truck for the next couple days until they noticed, like, hey, he's still one of the best drivers we have. So we'll put him back in the truck instead of sitting on the ground flagging. Right.
I mean, that's one of those things. And they wonder why everybody in the United States is like so on edge and mad and angry. I'm like, that's because people don't have time to relax. And you got people working 8 to 12 to 15-hour days. It just depends on where you're working. Turn around and do that shit again, and you get 1 to 2 days off, and then you got to rinse and repeat.
Look, like, I proposed this to my mom. Matter of fact, since we actually work together in the building or whatever. Once a month, every month, work 4 days. If you work 5 days, let's say you work 5 10s, right? Like most construction businesses do, work 5 10s. Well, one maybe at the end of the month, that last Friday, the last Friday of the month, give your workers that Friday. So now that gives you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to relax. Get your mind right. Come back the next week fresh and ready to go. I ain't saying make every week a 40-hour work week. You know what I mean? Because I understand how the game works. But if you give people time to spend with their families, or give them time to unwind and relax and get stuff done, because 2 days ain't enough time to get nothing done. Because the first day, you're going to be busy. The second day, be trying to unwind, but you're going to constantly be thinking about work all that next day. So it's like, I mean, so it's like the first, say, if you work 5 10s and you only off Saturday and Sunday, that means Saturday you got all this time that you got to get a whole bunch of stuff done. Sunday you only relax for a couple hours, and then you got to be back to sleep in order to get ready for the next day. It's like, come on, man, this shit is stressful.
I mean, it is, and that's the problem. That's why a lot of people want to talk about this. But I was like, man, we're so behind when it comes to work life balance, and people know better than I do. Especially way your man Donald Trump trying to set everything up. People gonna be making, because obviously, according to him, we make too much money.
I don't know who makes too much. Who is we?
The working class allegedly makes too much money, and I'm like, nigga, you are insane. That's the reason people try to vote you in, because they wanted. See, I tell people that. I said, look, y'all want America run like a business? It's gonna get ran like a business. And the question I ask everybody, I want anybody who listens to this to answer, is like, what is the first order of business if you are a new CEO coming into a company that's allegedly about to tank? You're going to start cutting costs, right? Yeah. If America was that bad like we want to perceive it, you're going to start cutting costs. Yeah. Where are you going to start cutting costs?
Cut costs or cut corners.
Exactly. So the first thing you do is you take out the bottom man. Hey, your hourly workers. Damn, them dudes, cut that shit. Then from there, you go up to your salary workers. All right, y'all, no more overtime for you.
Oh, no. Salary workers don't get paid overtime anyway. They get paid whatever their salary is for that year. That's what they get. I think that's how that works. But I know your hourly workers get overtime pay. They definitely gonna cut that shit.
There was a bill that Obama passed. I can't remember the exact year, but during his term, he passed a bill for the salary workers, because there was a lot of misuse and abuse with that. Because you may make $4,000, but you were working 60 plus hours a week. So then they started doing it kind of where if you work X amount of hours, then you'll actually get some kind of kickback. It wasn't like the same as time and a half, but you got something. And that actually was up to be cut it's up for review with Donald Trump and his people. But
I know. I heard about it, and I was like, wait a minute. So what you're telling me is the people who don't make any money are now going to not make any more money.
You're right. It's just like
the people who spend the most money, I'll say that. The group of people who spend the most money are now going to be making less money.
Yes, that is correct. I don't understand the logic myself, because I'm like, wait, hold up. If people don't have money, they usually don't spend. Last time I checked. Now, you got some people who going to just get out there and YOLO and be like, fuck it, I'll figure it out later. But your average person is going to be like, well, shit, I can't go out to eat today, man. We going to have to grab us some tuna.
You know, we gonna have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
We got some beans and rice for the next week or so.
Beans and rice, eggs and rice, and I don't know how it's gonna be. Like, we gonna make it work, but it's gonna be a struggle, and that's the problem. when you have people struggling, like that's gonna drive morale down. That's why suicide rates are high. That's why divorce rates are high. All of these things are high. All stressful situations are high more times than not because of money issues.
Of course. I'm like,
So
you
if
go
you
home, you
solve a money issue, you all right.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You go home, you had a hard day, and all of a sudden she like, baby, how was your day? Don't ask me how my fucking day was. You know, people just start blowing up and shit. So
just blow up because of stress from work and trying to make money and all of these things.
That's why you get some people be like, man, you know what? Fuck you and them kids. I'm out. I'm like,
yeah.
It's sad though. It's like this is kind of our reality, and this is the things that because I'm like I keep telling. I told y'all last show. I'm waiting for my "I told you so" speech to come out. I'm practicing in the mirror and making sure it's coming off right. I got the right amount of condescension in it. But it's even then like, okay, so last week, Donald Trump hires a lady he's trying to appoint a lady, if he hasn't already, in the Secretary of Education that don't believe in public education. Next, we got Sheriff David Clark potentially as a candidate for Homeland Security. What kind of world we living in? Sheriff David Clark, the same man that came on TV and said there's no such thing as police brutality. That shit ended in the 60s. And I'm like, oh, well, shit, tell Rodney King that shit. That was in the 90s.
There's no such thing as police brutality. He said that.
He said that.
My question is this. What about the white kids who've been brutalized by the police? Are you going to tell them that there's no police brutality?
Oh, now. And, we already know. I'm about to go ahead and get that meme made. I'm going to get a poster that says with this on there, but, talking about what's the word I use for him now? But, the prophetic red from Friday, that was different. You know that.
Oh, that was different.
That was different. And I said it earlier. It's just like, matter of fact, I'm going to ask you this question. This whole thing about the whole religion thing, Muslim versus Christianity versus, all these different things. Has Christian communities, either Baptist, Methodist, whatever, ever had to come out publicly and said, hey, we don't like what these people who represent our group are doing, such as, KKK members. We don't condone any of that stuff or any other quote unquote radical, which, I'm using in the context they would, that represents Christianity. Has that ever happened? Last time I checked, I would say no, but maybe somebody else knows the answer to that question. Here's where I'm leading up to. So you had, I need to get names, but there is a representative of the Muslim, I guess, say religion, which is actually funny, who had to come on and I guess you could say, clear the air for the Ohio State quote-unquote terrorist attack because he was allegedly Muslim as well. Oh,
you mean that single solitary person?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay. And they called him a terrorist?
Yeah, he was a terrorist. It's funny how that automatically came out like that fast.
The Columbine kids weren't considered terrorists.
No, they were troubled youth.
The kid who shot up the movie theater in Colorado wasn't considered a terrorist.
No, he was going through a lot of stress because he was in med school.
Dylan Roof wasn't considered a terrorist.
Well, we let him go because he said too much when he went and did what he did, so we had to let him go.
What else?
I mean,
the issue with the white people who, what did they do? The white people who did the thing. I think it was in Washington or Oregon.
Oh, you're talking about
when they held up that building?
Money in them.
Yeah, that wasn't considered a terrorist.
No, they were patriotic. You see
So
it how
all of
these
the
you
white
see how
people
these
who
things
burn
change.
flags, all the white people who burn flags, they aren't considered terrorists either.
I don't know. If you listen to Donald Trump, he's trying to imprison anybody who burns the flag should be placed in prison. But then I'll ask Donald, does that technically go against your right of freedom of or
Freedom of
freedom?
expression,
Yeah,
speech and expression.
So
But
I'm
on
like,
top of that, so what you're telling me is lock up your own people? Because I don't see no black people burning flags.
I haven't either personally.
I don't think I've
Maybe
ever seen a black person burn a flag.
no. They had that one brother. I think he was in Florida, or something like that. He was stepping on it, but it was in a way to illustrate what it was that he was saying. But they tried to go after him. Matter of fact, I think brother had to disappear for a minute.
The forms, you know what? This would be a perfect topic if you want to if you want to go on break and then come back. But forms of protest, different forms of protest.
Yes,
we gotta talk.
Which
We gotta touch on it because these everybody want to tell people how to do something that they aren't doing.
Yes, and
You know what I mean?
that's actually going to tie into the overall about the famous Duchess herself that appeared on the Daily Show. But we'll get into that.
You talking about Ann Coulter's mini-me?
Yeah, basically. But
that's what she is.
I mean, I'm gonna finish this statement about this Muslim. The bad thing is that's a shame that you have to come out and say that nigga ain't with us. I'm just putting my own spin on it, but that he ain't with me. Y'all leave me alone. I don't know that dude.
But that's how it is with everybody who trying to make it seem like like Black Lives Matter. Like, yo, this is a movement, not a group. It's a movement. It's like the civil rights movement. That was a movement. It wasn't a group. That was a collective. There was a collective movement of people pushing, trying to get equality, passed.
Yeah.
Not desegregation. We didn't really want to rub elbows with y'all. We just wanted to be treated like we're fucking Americans.
People? Just American people.
That's it. We just try to get treated like humans.
I'm like, it baffles me on how that misses a lot of people. And man, it really does, because you'll sit there and tell somebody, and I really hate it when they're like, "Oh man, you're not going through anything. I'm oppressed too." And it's like, hey, what? How? I'm not saying that you don't have your own drama, but you want to discredit mine because you happen to go through something as well.
My thing is, who is your oppressor?
Man, I'm gonna say this, and I know, but it was one of my white homies at work. Oh, so y'all can say it's him saying it. He said that it's funny because white people. He said that how did he put it? White people's worst enemy is other white folks. He said anything that happens, most of the things that happen to you are done by other white folks, but you're not going to call them out on it. True. You having issues with these jobs? Who owns the jobs?
True.
You having issues with government? Who is in charge of the government?
True.
You're having issues with money, banking, all these. Who is in charge of these systems?
And boom goes the motherfucking dynamite.
And I brought that up because I told him, I said, I remember I had this discussion with a guy I used to work with, and it was that whole thing about immigration and they're stealing jobs and this. I'm like, they can't come here and just say, give me a job.
They can't come here and take a job that you have already. It don't work like that. Hey, Q, what's the link? What's the link to this show? Just type it in so I can
all right, I'll retweet it to you.
Yeah, that'll work. Because I got to send it out to a few people.
But I mean, I laugh at it because it was like, I told him, I said, wait, hold up. So they're just coming here and gangstering jobs. Is that how it works? They come in and say, look, son, we're going to have some issues. Is that how it goes?
Mm. Hey, I found some people who will do the same work that you're doing. Probably not as good, but I can pay them less.
Yeah.
That's basically stealing a job. But that ain't how
So
this
I'm
game
like,
works. If you're good at something
but
and really good at it, they don't you don't just get fired and hired for somebody worse in most cases.
yeah, and that's the thing is like I was telling them, I'm like, they can't unless they run the system, company or anything. They can't come take anything from you. Your beef is
Mm-hmm.
with the company itself. Direct it where it belongs. If you got real problems, you need to go talk to these companies. You need to talk to that construction company. You need to talk to that carpenter that's hiring these guys to build these houses like at a quarter speed faster than what you would.
Yeah.
You need to talk to these guys they're trying to get who are, because you want to really be honest, they're manipulating them because of their circumstances. Shit, they need a job. I'm going to pay them like a half of what I would pay you.
Mm.
And those people are going to do it because they like, shit, I need a job. I got to do what I got to do.
Hmm.
So who is really the bad guy in that scenario? It's not the immigrant, because the immigrant is doing nothing but what you would do when you change states for jobs.
Mm. But I mean, yeah, it's like I leave this place because I can't get a job here. So I'm gonna relocate and see if I can get a job there.
Exactly. Why do people come to Texas? Hell, there's jobs here. Why do people go, anywhere? It's because it's a better opportunity. So why are you mad at someone that's doing the same thing you're doing? It's just now you're competing with someone who's willing to do less. Now, I mean, can I say that's fair? I don't know, but it's called marketing.
Yeah,
You do it every day. When you go to the store, you'll say, "Hey, this is $50. Hell, shit, I can get over here for 40. I saved $10."
Bang, you know what I mean? And it works just like that. But whatever. I don't know. I've never understood. Like you can't
Man, people make
steal
your
my
head hurt.
job if I'm
Man,
better than you. You know what I mean? Like,
and
okay, prime example. I was during my college days. Um, I was let me see. While I was playing football, I was up there at a school in Illinois, and for during the spring, I'm good. I'm learning the system, all these things. During the summer, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got much football stuff going on. In the fall, I lost my spot because I wasn't performing. That's how that happened. I wasn't performing in practices and all of that stuff. So when it happened like that, I was like, damn, all right, well, time for me to get back on my shit. I got back on it after the first two games. Guess who was back in their starting spot? Because I was better than those other two dudes. Not, I mean, like, as far as athletics go and all of that, like physically, I was inferior to both of these cats because
right.
I was 6'3", 195, almost 200. Right, wide receiver. So that's a big receiver in most cases. Everybody think you got to be 220, 230 and all this old
Yeah,
bullshit.
everybody want them Calvin
6'2",
Johnson.
6'3", 6'4". It's like, no, man, that shit is rare actually, but it is what it is. Bruh, the two dudes ahead of me, they were uh they were both six. One was 6'4", the other was 6'5". The one was 220, I think, and the other one was like 225. So both of them were pretty prototype. Both of them were pretty fast.
Yeah.
Both of them had decent hands. Like when I say decent, I mean extremely fucking decent. Like, but that was just that. Now, this is what made me different than both of them. This is what made me better than them. These idiots couldn't tell you what a cover 2 coverage looked like. I could describe everybody. I could describe everybody's job in a cover 2 setting. I was smarter than them, and I had hands, and I was fast, and I knew how to get off of this and change that, and I hustled. I did everything that there was to do. And after the first 2 games, the grading out at a 96 and a 98, I had my starting spot back. That's the difference. You've got to be better than me all around in order for me to lose my job. Or either that or I got to be the one fucking up.
Yeah. And I brought that, I think, last show we were talking about competition. You know, if you want to really go on a full capitalistic method and things like that, it's pure competition only. Mm-hmm. You're going out there and competing with others. And if you got it, you're going to get it. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. That's what it really is. But it's like, and that's why I think a lot of them understand the potential leg up that exists. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that every white person is rich and got this and that, blah, blah, blah. But if you're saying that you don't have a slight advantage based on just perception of you in the regular world, I think you're playing yourself. But because in the end, all you got to do is pretend that you look like a decent individual, and you're going to be, oh, hello, sir, and this and that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. You can fake it until it's time to actually show up. Like, that's what it is. Them cats could fake being good. Funniest thing I think I ever seen on a football field. One of my teammates. I don't name names because I keep these cats anonymous.
Oh, you can tell me after the show.
Yeah. I'll tell you off camera. But these cats, we playing against I think Northern Illinois. Funniest thing in the world. Our coach told us, when you're running a deep route, look up in the air for the ball. Don't look back at the quarterback because he don't have it, right? Mm-hmm. So knowing that, I knew this for a fact. But first off, we had then already lost the game. Me and the other number one receiver, I was the number 2. We on the sidelines, like, just chilling. Game over with. Fucking let everybody else get their burn.
Yeah.
Quarterback drops back and throws the ball in the air to one of them cats, and Cardinal sin. He looks back for the ball. He looks back to the quarterback for the ball. Bruh, the ball hit this dude on the side of the helmet.
I was going to say, it probably hit him in the head.
Man, this is the thing. Me and the other dude, we sitting on the sideline watching it happen. We like, oh, no, he didn't. He didn't just look back to the quarterback for the ball. It's coming right on him. Had he looked up for the ball first, bro, that's probably a touchdown. See, he then ran by the cornerback. He catch this ball, it's probably a touchdown. The ball hit him in the side of the helmet, and me and the other dude, we laughed so hard. Like I said, game was over with. It was like 41-6. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I'm like, see that play right there, because this was the second play of the game. I mean, no, this was the second game of the season. Sorry, it's the second game of the season, and I'm watching this happen. I'm like, you know what? That play right there just lost him his starting spot. Lo and behold, it did.
I was about to say, you need to be off the team. I was like,
I mean, I couldn't like look at him. I couldn't take this dude serious at all.
No.
It was so bad. Like, and this is what I mean. Like, to bring it all back full circle, when it comes down to people stealing jobs, you still not just have to be able to perform the work. still have to be smart enough to know when to do what. Like, I know for a fact if I'm running a short route, I'm gonna look back for the quarterback because I know he probably still got the ball, or I'm gonna look back and try to find the ball real quick. It's a quick play. But if it's a deep route, I'm gonna look up in the air. I'm smart enough to know that. And it was proven by the third game of the season when I did that.
You know, it's actually funny, just that point alone that you made. I just started really thinking. I'm like, if white people complain about the jobs being taken away, don't they contradict themselves when they say stop complaining?
That's exactly what that does. Stop complaining about. It's like you can't complain about this and you can't complain about fair treatment, but y'all complaining about people stealing jobs.
Yeah, but like they'll tell you there is no discrepancies or disparities between what goes on with us and y'all. There is no witch hunt for you. There's no such thing as mass incarceration. Stop complaining. Just pull your bootstraps up and do the job. I said,
Yeah.
okay. So shouldn't you do the same if you're talking about why does affirmative action discriminates against white males, even though the white women benefit the most? You then talk about these these immigrants or Mexican immigrants, to be more specific, about them coming over and stealing jobs. Oh, well, just pull your bootstraps up. Stop complaining. Does it work the same way? Is that the same, or are we going to say that's different too? Or is it? Am I not using it in the right context? Because I mean, when I really start looking at it, I'm like, wait, hold on. You're complaining about the same things.
You complaining? They complaining about the same things that we complaining about. It's just, and we're not complaining. We're not complaining really kind of roots its essence. I mean, you being like, it's hard for me to explain. Sorry, but if I'm complaining about something, then I take issue with it, right? Yeah. So if I'm complaining, that's like I can't complain if somebody wants a job that I don't want.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I have a legit argument when somebody gets a job who's less qualified than me. I have a legitimate argument. I'm not going to complain about it because I understand that there are more jobs out there. All I got to do is go out and look for them. But when you already have the jobs, what the fuck are you complaining about? Man, I can't find a job because these illegals are taking them all. I'm pretty sure that's not the only job you're qualified to do. But maybe that's me. I don't know.
I'm looking at it and I'm like,
you're qualified to do. Maybe your high school education-ish only prepared you to do what you're doing.
I mean, man, look, I'm gonna quote my man D.L. Hughley on this, man. I think it was one episode.
Shout out to D.L. Hughley.
Oh yeah, man, I love the show. And I always listen. I always, I think it was his segment about from the crap, I forgot the name of it, but basically what he was trying to compare, he was just saying that a lot of, and of course this is not every white person, so don't even get out here with that nonsense. I don't use blanket statements, but I am going to use this in a general sense.
Yeah, we don't speak in absolutes.
He was saying that a lot of white folks, he said, compared to the Flintstones and the Jetsons, he was saying that a lot of people, you got other people who are really trying to progress and become the Jetsons. We want to progress. We want to be better. We want to continue to thrive and continue to move forward. Continue to make things better.
I want to have flying cars and fucking walking. What's the little walkway thing that they got?
Oh yeah,
it's kind of like the shit in the airports.
Yeah. So he was just saying that when it comes to white males, they want to stay in the Flintstone era. They don't want anything to change for them. because that's when everything was okay. Everything was great for them. That's why when you really hear "Make America Great Again," what is he really saying? Who was it great? Like, because they always ask that. Who was it great for? Historically. Yeah, I understand you want to put your feelings in there, but hey, man, I'm sorry. Facts over feelings. Historically, who has it always been? It is great, okay, or a little above average for?
Who's well? You know what? I'm gonna simplify that one for you. Simplify the question. Who has who has pre-Trump America been beneficial to? Who's benefited the most since before Trump said "Make America Great Again"?
Oh, well, if you leave it up to them, we have,
In what way have we benefited from this? Like, let's look at it historically. The black people who were here before slavery probably became slaves anyway, if they weren't killed with the Native Americans, or with the natives, because
Right.
I'm not gonna call them Native Americans. Hell, they didn't even call it America before Columbus and them got here. I'm gonna call them the natives, since I have no idea what they called themselves. Because they probably just went by their tribe name. They just went by their tribe name. When it comes down to that, it's like the black people who were here were probably, like I said, were probably slaves anyway. So then came the Revolutionary War. We fought in that with them, and then bad stuff happened. And then came the Spanish. Let me see. I think it was the Spanish War, the War of 1812.
Yeah.
We fought in that with them as well. Still slaves. The Civil War, fought in that with them. Still slaves.
Yep.
Then once we were emancipated, here comes all these. Yeah, here comes the Jim Crow laws and getting locked up for minor offenses. You know what I mean? Looking at, and then if you got locked up, still slave. According to the Constitution, you're still a slave anyway. If you in jail. So then after that, oh my God, Lil Yachty is in a Sprite commercial.
Yeah, man, I see that, man. We don't talk about meat water.
I'm gonna stop. All right. So past slavery, then came World War I. We fought in that with them. Came home, still treated like shit. Still getting hung from trees. KKK still burning our churches down. The Great Depression, went through that with them. No issue. Still treated like shit. World War II, fought in that with them. Most of us led the way. Flew the planes. Did all of that great shit. Mm-hmm. Came home. The ones who were able to come home, segregation.
See,
housing acts. You know what I mean? Projects, all of this stuff.
Because
it's like, who the fuck are you talking about?
I'll even ask this question, and then after that, we go into a little quick break, so we can talk about Tommy. But
Tommy,
here's the question I have, and I really wanted people to try to understand this, and let's try to put this in best context as possible. So people talk about reparations, and nobody should have to pay for reparations for slavery because that was so long ago. Okay, that's fine. If you want to use that, that's fine. What about post-slavery? What about all the way up until 1968? Hell, all the way up until parts of now. What about those? I would say, because if you look at the convict lease system and you look at the civil rights era or Jim Crow era, If you look at all the things that were legally able to happen, those are human rights violations. Last time I checked. If you can assassinate or slaughter people in the streets, and that's just a normal day, that's a human rights violation.
It's like, man, this day was a horrible day, man, for Black history. But to them, it was Wednesday.
Yeah. And now,
like, what the fuck?
Let's look at it like this. I want somebody, and maybe I'm wrong, I want somebody to really answer this question. How did the middle class really get developed? Well, let's go down. You had the Housing Act. You had GI Bills after World War II. You had actual set-aside, which I think Martin Luther King was even talking about this. This is one of the reasons people really thought he really got assassinated. He said, man, we got to go get our check. Okay. That's the real king that nobody want to talk about. But he brought up.
They gave the Jews. America gave the Jews money.
Yeah, like a couple years ago.
They gave the Jews money for the Holocaust, and that shit didn't even happen here.
Yeah. I said you have the Jews got money from the government. You've had Japanese getting money from the government with internment camps.
Yeah, Japanese got money from the government, and they bombed us.
But they gave it because it was a human rights violation to imprison them against their will.
Wow.
It sounds familiar, but okay, we'll continue on from there.
Sure, why not?
So the thing is, as I said, the white middle class or white folks have always had a form of reparations. See, the thing is, when people think reparations, they think automatically, I'm giving you just straight cold cash. No. Set-asides. You had programs. That's like I always tell people when they talk about, oh, well, socialism is bad or this and that. I say, what are you talking about? We practice socialism to an extent now. What are you talking about?
It's tough, man. I don't think people get it. They really don't get it. But that's why we do what we do. That's why we do this show. Because we gotta try to educate as many people as we possibly can, especially our own. Like, you should see how many people come to the office asking for. They might just be coming for a copy of something. End up me and them sitting there holding 20, 25, 30-minute conversations. Just on me putting them up on game. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just start like they'll be like, how you doing? Like, how you doing? I'll be like, man, I'm just trying to stay on the up and up. They'll be like, man, I feel you. And then and then I'll have something on TV and like the news will be on, and they'll say something like that white dude who said, if you're gonna burn a flag, make sure you're wrapped in it first.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that dumb shit.
That's sure. Why not?
Oh man, I mean,
I ain't never thought to say no shit like that. Like, what the fuck is wrong with white people?
That's because everybody gets into this nationalism, whatever that means.
Patriotism.
I am so ingrained in patriotism, whatever that means. So on and so forth. And I know some people be like, "You're unpatriotic." Who cares? I said, why do I care more about the idea of where we stay versus how we actually created to be? I'm like, people get so you'll sit there and say that America is about truth, justice, and peace and things like that, but I will fuck you up if you say anything against it. It's like, but you just said it's for all those things.
We respect women, but Trump that bitch. Wait a minute. You say we respect women here in our country, but the back of your campaign shirt with Hillary Clinton on the front says Trump that bitch. So isn't it disrespectful to call a woman a bitch in a country that respects women?
But this is the same people that say they're respectful, but the Stanford rapist, his father said his son should not go to jail for a little bit of fun.
Oh, so that's how they classify rape now. It's fun.
That's fun. So he made a
It's fun for
mistake.
it's fun for the raper, but it's fun for the rapist, but the rapee, I'm pretty sure it wasn't fun for them, especially since in that particular case, the girl was unconscious.
Yeah, she didn't want it. She couldn't even pretend like she did.
She couldn't even tell you she wanted it. My question is this, and this would be my question for him. You raped an unconscious. You basically had sex with an unconscious girl. How did that feel? Like, what pleasure did you get out of having sex with an unconscious woman who physically can't get herself wet? Like, I've women really do get themselves, like, they get themselves off. A lot of them I've actually seen can physically think themselves into getting off. But there has to be an attraction, there has to be some form of attraction or some form of want to, in order for the woman to get aroused enough to produce her her juices so she can get wet. Other than that, it's dry. Unless she just, unless she got something, unless she got an issue. But other than that, like, if she's able to get wet while unconscious, that's weird. Maybe that's something that women can do. I don't know. I'm not a woman, but I want to know that if there are any women out there who are listening, please tell me, if you're unconscious, can you still physically
be into it?
Be into it.
Oh man,
you can hit me up on my Twitter. You can inbox me on my Twitter to let me know that answer. And
so you trying to secretly get numbers? Is that that's what we trying to get at?
No, hell no. I'm happily in a
I'm about to say, you gonna get one of those Respucia chicks talking about, nah, but it sure will for you, Big Daddy. Anyways, man, look, we're going to take a quick one real quick. Yeah, quick one real quick. Quick break real quick. Play a little tunes for you, and we'll be right back.
All right. What you mean?
We go. It seems me ahead. Now our separate ways. We go. It seems me ahead. Now our separate ways. We go. It seems me ahead. Now our separate ways. We go. It seems you. We go.
What's going on? We just taking a quick break. What's going on? We are back. Man. Had to go ahead and take some time off so we can get ready to prep and talk about this. The Duchess herself, tomi-lahren, and her. I guess you could say, what would you call it? An interview?
Her bombing.
Okay.
Her bombing.
Yeah, I mean, it was
That's what
something.
it is.
I don't know what to say about that, man. It was crazy, but
It was like, I'd have to compare it to running full speed into a brick wall, riding a bicycle. That's what I compare it to. Like,
come on, man.
It's almost, you know what though? I'd almost say it was almost as bad. Her on that interview with Trevor Noah was almost as bad, if not worse, really, than Donald Trump in the first debate. No facts, all just bad, bro. Like, I can't even describe it as anything else.
I mean, man. But
You can call it a faux pas. I don't know.
For anybody who hasn't heard anything, I'm gonna play a little small clip of it, and you can kind of hear what she was saying and all that good stuff. So hold tight. Well, as soon as his ad goes off, damn it, YouTube. Hold on. Uh-oh.
In the meantime, anybody listening in who hasn't seen it, just sit back and enjoy the show. Because if you know Trevor Noah, then you know how cool of a dude he is. He doesn't really back down from too many challenges. I've seen it. I'm actually happy that he did accept the fact that she was going to be on the show. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. I could only imagine that when he knew that she was going to be on the show. Oh, shit. Thanks, Quinn.
Oh, my bad. I just can't.
But he had to be like, he had to be chopping at the bit. He had to look at he had to be like a dog during dinner time. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah. Dog knowing dinner is coming.
Yeah, man. It's matter of fact, I'm going to play some of it now.
Here we go.
Welcome to the show. Before we get into it, I know who you are because my Facebook feed has you in it. There are a lot of people who don't. So if you don't know tomi-lahren, this is a little taste of her show.
Lahren.
The protesters are still out in force, but let's be honest, they're not protesters. They're crybabies with nothing better to do than meander around the streets with their participation trophies and false sense of purpose. This isn't for Hillary. I'm not even sure this is against Trump. It's the same thing we've seen time and time again with these so-called protesters and demonstrators. It started with the Occupy Wall Street brats, moved on to the more militant and overtly aggressive Black Lives Matter More crowd, cycled through the DNC paid violence instigators, and now here we are in November of 2016 with President-elect Donald Trump and a crowd of misfit babies formed from every failed movement, all sandwiched together to become the largest group of whiners the country has ever seen.
All right.
Pretty much covers it, doesn't it, Trevor?
Quick question. Like, why are you so angry?
I'm actually not that angry. It's just there's things that need to be said, Trevor, and a lot of people are afraid to say them.
In an angry way. I mean, you can't say you're not angry, and I mean, this is what you're known for. It's a strange thing to say, I'm not angry, but that is the one thing. It's like Ellen saying, I don't like dancing. It's like, yeah, you do, Ellen. You do. You are angry about everything, it seems.
Sometimes people just need to be called in their you know, I mean,
when you say you're though, what in particular? This is the thing.
Protesting a fair and free election. That to me, you get called in your a little bit. It's time to clear the streets. It's time to accept reality. It's time to move on. Time to make America great again.
You consider yourself a conservative?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a millennial, so I don't really like labels. But yes, I'm conservative in thought.
Sorry, my brain. You just gave a label to say you don't like labels. But anyway,
we exist on a spectrum.
No.
I mean, would you consider yourself a liberal?
That was just funny. That was just funny. It was just a funny moment.
I'm a millennial.
This is funny. In terms of Black Lives Matter, like, you have quite a record. For somebody who is not racist, you have to spend a lot of time saying, I'm not racist. What is your biggest issue with Black Lives Matter?
I think, and I've said this many times, it started with good intentions. I think it was well-intentioned. The moment that they started pushing hands up, don't shoot, which is a false narrative, proven time and time again to be a false narrative, the minute that that became their slogan, the minute that protesting turned into rioting and looting and burning and militant actions, that's when I lost respect for Black Lives Matter.
Okay, but now here's my thing. Let's address each of these things one by one. When you go protesting, turning into rioting and looting, that's not a Black Lives Matter phenomenon. That is what happens when there is a protest a lot of the time. There were people who rioted and looted when teams won in Chicago years ago. It doesn't mean that they are now bad people. That's what happens. There are some bad people in every instance. Going back to Black Lives Matter, though, for you to say that, you say they have good intentions. They had the good intentions. How are you labeling out the actions of a few and condemning an entire group?
Because they subscribe to the Black Lives Matter movement. They say, we are the Black Lives Matter movement, fry them like bacon, F the police.
These are a few people. These are a few people. This is not the Black Lives Matter. That is not the platform, though.
I saw it in my city of Dallas. I saw what a Black Lives Matter protest looked like. And I saw
Okay, I got to stop it there. I'm sorry. Hey, look.
I gotta stop it right there.
I can't continue on. But for anybody who's interested, check it out. We can put the link in the description where you can find it on YouTube. It's actually very interesting. And as you see earlier, when she was saying, when Trevor Noah asked her, are you conservative? Yes. Well, I'm a millennial, so we don't really like labels. I said the same thing. I was like, wait, hold on. So you use the label to describe yourself, but you don't like labels. That's like saying, you know what? I hate football as I'm watching it. As I'm attending the games, I hate football.
I'm wearing a jersey. I'm wearing a jersey right now at a football game. Man, I don't like football. Like, so stupid as.
So let's start with
wearing a Cowboys. You can't label me a Cowboys fan just because I have on a Cowboys jersey. That means you spent money to buy that jersey.
Yeah, it was fashion decision, man. You know how it goes. I'm just looking at it like, all right, first she comes out the gates with a contradiction. It's like it got off to a very fast start with the contradictions. My question is this, though, Q. Can you answer this one for me? I know I just sent it to you, but I want to ask. Matter of fact, I want to ask all the listeners, anybody who's listening right now, I want to ask you, please answer. Shoot, if we had to call in, I'd have you do that. I know.
So they said, she said that the Black Lives Matter movement, she said that the hands up, don't shoot narrative, wasn't that before the Black Lives Matter movement or Black Lives Matter hashtag started?
I want to say that was birthed. The Black Lives Matter movement was birthed out of that incident.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
The hands up, don't shoot thing happened. It happened after Trayvon Martin. I think it happened after O'Doon Ferguson, Missouri. I think it happened after killings, and then the Black Lives Matter movement started before the Micah Johnson issue happened, which I still don't believe it was a black dude because they still don't have any proof or evidence but a blown up van. Why would he even have a van? And why is the only thing you can find an ID? So you mean to tell me the only thing that can survive physically an explosion is
your ID
piece of plastic?
Which means we need to start making bulletproof vests out of those things, because those things are indestructible.
Whatever driver's licenses or state IDs are made of, we need to make cars out of them. Because apparently those things can survive robot bomb explosions.
But this is actually, I'm not gonna try to take anything away, but I was like, everybody ever notice? And I don't want to say I believe in sheer coincidences or anything like that, but you ever notice when there is ever a black assailant when it comes to somebody who's quote unquote terrorist or dangerous, they almost 100% of the time end up dead or exploded or dismembered or killed. Like it's even then, you go to Ohio.
The dude at Ohio State, the dude at Ohio State, he's dead now. He can't defend himself. He was gunned down.
Can't say anything. The guy out here in Dallas was blown up. Blown up
by a military grade robot that the police had. Since when did we start militarizing regular old boys in blue?
That happened. Since the fight on, I guess you say the war on drugs, they needed now task force and SWAT, and we got to have them militarized to combat the people on the streets. Even though we create the climate that creates that type of scenario, but that's another story. But it's also funny. You think about the Officer Dorner, the guy over in California? He was burned alive.
Yep. What was his name? Chris Dorner. Burned alive. I'm like, I'm just saying, I don't know if it's just sheer coincidence, but then Clive Bundy, I don't remember if it's Clive Bundy, I know it's one of them. Him and his whole group, his clique, we walk away, nigga. That's just straight thugging. I'm sorry, that's what that's called. Like that was the hardest shit. Like they occupied a government building. They occupied that bad boy for hours or days or whatever the case was. I stopped watching because I stopped caring. Once I saw that nothing really finna be done about it, or nothing was finna happen, nobody was finna go to jail. Nobody fucking went to jail. Once I realized that, I was like, you know what? I'm done paying attention to this shit because I know that it ain't got. It's just a bunch of white people voicing their opinion in whatever way that they feel like they can do it. And it's because it's an organized group of them, and they haven't really hurt anybody or done any property damage, I guess. That? But I mean,
you know better than I. But I know if me and you would have went up in there with slingshots, nigga, we wouldn't have made it.
I wouldn't have made it out that bitch. And I wouldn't have even needed a slingshot. Like if I'd have walked in there and just yelled out, "I'm taking over this building," everybody would been like, "Huh, nigger, please."
Exactly.
Like, well, goddamn. I mean, do I have to have a gun in order to do that? And then, here they come. Here come the SWAT team. They're going to get everybody they can to do this kind of stuff.
But I'm just wondering though, like nobody, and I know a lot of people are going to say I'm misinterpreting all this stuff, but I'm like, look, if you want, you need to explain this stuff to me then. I said, explain to me how the shooter in Colorado who was fully armed and killed people walked away. But
explain to me how the dude who killed the two people in Florida and started gnawing on one dude's face, the neighbor's face. Explain to me how he walked away.
I'm just saying, like, who
all
was
the while,
Dylan Roof was arrested peacefully
arrested and taken to Burger King.
I'm like, but then Karen Gaines is was it Gaines or Goins? I can't remember her name, man. I hate to say that, but Gaines, okay. Gaines. But she's treated like she was just like a solid snake in the bitch. Nigga, we need to get her because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Philando Castile was sitting in his car doing what he letting them know, hey, this is what the deal is, and he's killed. They said, I don't even know why I did it. So I mean, I'm not trying to make anything up. I'm not trying to push any type of narrative, whatever the fuck. I'm only speaking facts.
I'm just saying this stuff needs to be further explained.
That's all.
That's what needs to happen. But let's not get too
in Trevor Noah's case, he was only Matter of fact, this is the funny part. 80% of that interview was him asking questions. Like 80 to 90 some percent of that interview was him asking her, well, I mean, explain this to me, explain that to me in a way that makes sense. And that's where she fucked up.
Man, all right. So I got a couple tweets to read, a couple other people on Twitter. Jay from Words Pod.
Shout out.
Yep, big shout out. Y'all make sure to check out all these podcasts as well. He said, so the question I posed was, what are your thoughts on the tomi-lahren on The Daily Show? Did she have some points, or did she just embarrass herself? His response was, he's convinced she's just trolling now. And later on, he followed up with,
I think Trevor Noah hitting that. That could just be me saying some stupid shit.
Hey, shit, you never know. I mean, she's not ugly. It's not my thing. She's too small for me, man. She like really. You gotta feed her. You gotta feed her a sandwich or something. But but I'm not skinny shaming. However y'all want to throw that out. But he also stated that he kind of gave he gave her a look when she asked, "What did the KKK do?"
Oh, when she said that,
yes.
I was like, is this bitch serious?
It's like, what you mean? What they did?
She said that they're the new KKK, and he was like, since around, they're still extremely active. And you know what though? It's a great question. This has been a question that's been posed by a lot of people, and I love this question. A lot of people will ask, why does the KKK wear masks? Have you ever noticed that no Black Lives Matter group members wear masks?
No black group, period, has ever wore a mask.
No civil rights group ever wore masks. No
Black Panthers never wore masks.
None of them wore masks. They wanted you to know who the fuck you was dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
But all these coward ass KKK members.
That's because they don't want it.
Big dumbass pillowcases over their head.
I believe this. They don't want it because they know if they really get out here spewing that stuff, they gonna get mobbed on.
And see, this is the problem. They think that they're safe now that Trump is in office. That's what the problem is. Because if you've noticed, a lot of these motherfuckers have gotten more bold than they used to be. A lot of these white folks have gotten way more bold than they used to be because Donald Trump's in office. Donald Trump is our president and I voted for him. So what you gonna do now? I'm finna beat your ass.
Like you can still get these hands, bro. I'm just saying, that don't mean
for you. Just because the president is orange now, it's like that don't mean you won't get these hands.
I just laugh. I'm like, you sure is banging hard for a dude that don't give a fuck about you.
That's the thing. They don't get it. Donald Trump does not like poor people.
Oh man, Phil, what's good, baby?
Man, I was gonna say, I think this nigga sleep.
Yeah, I was like, man, he rolled over on the phone.
I know he's sleep like a motherfucker, man. I understand working, man.
Yeah, man.
I could.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh man, so you gonna get in on this action? So right now we are talking about your favorite girl, tomi-lahren, and her appearance on the Daily Show. What's your takes on that?
I mean, when she got.
Say that again.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
She got sunned by a dude.
Yeah, basically.
She's a fucking genius, man.
Oh,
but you know what though? Plant.
I mean, maybe I don't know, man. It's
nobody cannot possibly be that stupid.
Man, look, I don't know, man. I didn't have
Okay, I'll say this. I'm not gonna say nobody could be that stupid. Nobody in her position can be that, should be that stupid.
Shouldn't be. I would say that should not
But
be.
you know what
if it is.
though? But you know what though? What is the alt-right dude? Richard, what's his name?
Richard
something.
Damn. Richard Spencer. There we go.
That's a dumbass dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shout outs to
It's quite
Roland Martin.
possible.
Shout outs to Roland Martin. He schooled this dude. Like he did the opposite. He actually did the opposite of what Trevor Noah did, because what Trevor Noah does, he allows you to talk. Roland Martin will cut your ass off when you start talking stupid.
All right. Couple more tweets I got to read. All right. So I got my homie, the John Effect podcast. Same question that I asked earlier, which is, what are your thoughts on tomi-Lahren's appearance on The Daily Show? And did she have any points, or did she just embarrass herself? So my man on here, make sure to check out his podcast as well. Dope show. No, he stated that she gets no points and she has no hope. I was like,
damn.
I don't know. And then, of course, we got the lovely ladies from Real and Rod podcast, where she stated, one, she loves the show, but she said that tomi-Lahren is so whack.
I agree.
Now,
I'd love for her to back that statement up with evidence. I mean, it's obvious, but you know, I'm just one of those dudes who I'd love to hear your opinion and then back it up. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
okay.
have something to come back.
She has not.
With.
She has no viable.
No, I know tomi-Lahren doesn't. Like she's an idiot, but like anybody who says something, I want them to go ahead and be like, okay, she's whack. Okay, why is she whack?
All right. Let me continue on then, sir. She also went on to state he buried her. She can't think on her feet. She's ignorant to the highest degree. Does that satisfy you a little bit?
No.
I mean, not really, but that's good because she is ignorant. She's very ignorant, but my problem is this. When you choose to continue to be ignorant, then you're making a conscious choice to continue to be stupid.
To be a nigga.
Hey.
Not a black person, a nigga. Nigga is ignorant motherfucker.
That's synonymous.
Guess what? Anybody that hinges on the word of Tommy Sotomayor, a.k.a. Crispy, a.k.a.
Coon of the year, coon of the century.
Coon of the mother. Well, no, he's not coon of the century. He's not coon of the year.
What? Somebody talk. Well, you know, Sheriff Clark does exist too. So I mean, I get that.
There you go. Even him, he's the creme of the creme. That's the thing about those are the real quote unquote coons and agents and stuff like that. Those are the motherfucker put as Homeland Security. I'm saying that's something we need to watch. That is something that we as melanated folks, as the people, period, really need to watch, because this is black people in specifically, because this dude well-noted, well-documented hatred for the people that look like him. And he gets in position of powers where he can help change legislation and all that kind of stuff. That's a dude we have to watch out for. That's a real agent that we have to watch out for.
Which is funny, because we were actually saying before we went to break that allegedly he's actually supposed to be up for a position in Homeland Security. Or he's a candidate, allegedly, so.
How and why?
That's a good question.
Because he's going to help them further their agenda. That's why.
Hey, man, he said.
Hey, before we went on the air, like I said, me and Q were talking about this. And I'll tell everybody on air exactly what I told Q. I don't trust dudes with that mustache and beard combination.
And his eyes too.
Yeah, like
you
can see.
He remind you a lot of version of the cop on Boys in the Hood. Oh, you think?
Oh
you're
man,
tough.
Mm-hmm. He like old dude. It was one dude who was in the interview. It was one of them black dudes who was in the interview with I forget that other black dude's name, man. Golly, he was interviewing the young brother, and the young dude was actually just kind of schooling him, but he was his head up, chin up, you know what I mean, like real snooty-ish. It's like, man, why the fuck are y'all always like that? Have you ever noticed that all of these Trump supporters and extreme Republican supporters, or whatever you want to call them, they real snooty people, and they talk with their head up a lot, like they as if they're looking down on people, and they try to out-talk you.
Well, that's when you know someone really doesn't have a lot of points, is when they try to talk over you, because they just try to frustrate you to the point where you're like, okay, fine, I don't even want to talk anymore. And they
loud talk you, you know, kind of like Stephen A. I've never heard a dude talk so damn loud for no necessary reason. He loud talks unnecessarily. It's like, bro, once you've proven your point, let's get on to the next thing. You get paid to basically be an idiot. You get paid to show your true coon nature.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Stephen A. gets paid to do. He gets paid to show how big a coon he really is. And it's like, bro, if you just shut up for a half a minute, or matter of fact, you ain't got to shut up, because, you know, I actually want to hear what you got to say. But if you would just kind of not Baptist priest yourself, stop talking so damn loud. Like, get your point across.
Honestly, Stephen A. looked like one of those guys that's going to become a pastor with that Sherman Hemsley balding hairdo.
He's a Negro.
It's like somebody. I'm sorry, I gotta say this only because I think it's funny. It's like somebody just took a Sharpie, a big ass Sharpie, and rubbed it around. Like, they didn't color in the top; they just kind of rubbed around. Or something like that. Or they just placed a U. This is what they placed a U on the back of this nigga's head. And it just so happened that that's how it worked.
All right, so going in more on Tommy, it was another thing, actually, I think, Rito, we were going to talk about this as well.
Yeah.
They talked about the protests, and, you know, I think Trevor Noah, he was just asking, he was saying, okay, why did Colin Kaepernick affect you when he was, quote unquote, protesting? And then he even posed this question. He said, okay, if it's wrong for me to protest silently in my corner, if it's wrong for me to march, if it's also wrong for me to take to violence, how should I protest?
Bruh, that's been the greatest mystery. But my issue is this with people. Don't tell me how to do some shit you're not doing. But look back in history. I actually used factual evidence to back up a lot of my arguments. There was this thing in the 1700s, if I'm not mistaken, called the Boston Tea Party.
Yeah, one of the biggest protests actually helped start the Revolutionary War.
It jump-started a war. So, if the Boston Tea Party was seen as patriotic, what's the issue with this?
Well,
y'all destroyed somebody else's property. Y'all went on they boats and dumped they shit out.
I told
that's not seen as
no. But I tell everybody all the time, I said, this country was built on protest. It's built on unrest. Civil unrest is how you got to get to this point. Hell, all those quote unquote rebel flag representatives, you call civil unrest when you try to succeed from the Union.
You know what's
what
crazy?
are you talking about?
This is what kills me, though. How is it not more unpatriotic to fly a Confederate flag?
It should be. Technically, you are flying the flag of the United States' enemy.
Yeah. Like, the whole country was against this area, was against this thing in this area. Y'all stuck together. But this is my bigger issue. Y'all lost. How the fuck are you able to fly your loser flag? It's like, I'm proud to be a Confederate. But you're in America. Shouldn't you say I'm proud to be an American and fly an American flag instead of flying a Confederate flag?
Nope.
Like, what's up with flying a? I'm sorry. Unless it's like in the sports world where you still flying your flag, or you still repping your team even though your team has been getting their ass kicked.
Maybe.
Like, I understand losing battles, like losing football games. I understand that because your team gonna come back next year ready to go. You motherfuckers lost a war. Like, that's the end all be all. You lost a war and one of your main sources of income. So what is there to be proud of?
I don't know. I mean, it's funny because, you got a lot of people who will tell you what you should do, but then they don't have an alternative for you. Okay, since I can't do this, since it's wrong for me to do this, what should I do?
What should I do? Tell me. Tell me. If you can't give me a legit answer to what you think I should do as far as protesting, then you need to shut the hell up, because it ain't. There's nothing you can tell me when my people are still getting killed in the streets, still getting falsely accused of stuff, still getting harassed by police in the streets, still getting harassed by regular citizens in the streets. One of my cousins was driving in her car in the West End, in the West End of Beaumont. She was driving her car, going to work or something like that. She had been living in this area for 10 years. And while she's living in this area, some white man who was jogging stopped her and asked her and just kind of asked her what she was doing, where she was going, all of this old shit. And I'm sorry, if that were me, I'd have been like, the fuck is it any of your business?
I'm going where I want to go. Basically,
I'm in a car. I'm finna drive. I'm finna go to work. It doesn't matter. What does it matter to you that I'm in my car and you're jogging? What does it matter to you what I'm doing in this neighborhood? I've been here for 10, 11, 12 years. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's funny.
I don't get it. You let me know.
Because I'm sitting there wondering, it's like, do people really believe that people just go say, man, you know what? I'm gonna just protest because it's Monday, nigga. That's how I roll. That's how I get down. I'm like, people protest on average. Now, of course, you got some people, and the thing is, I hate when people try to point out the few people who are going to do bullshit. That's regardless. You're going to always have people do bullshit. I mean, that's just how it goes. But those are not I guess you could say, that's not who the what's the word I want to use? I'm drawing a blank, but I'm like, that's not who is the representative of the entirety of the group. So it's like, why are you only picking out these people so you can then put your perception on it as they're all bad? But then again, it goes back to all the questions about why the protests exist anyway. Like tomi-lahren was said that, it started off okay, but then you had these few people who who subscribe to Black Lives Matter and they're doing this. They're talking about fried pigs, kill white folks, and this and that. I was like, but then again, with that being said, you basically just said you have the right to do it because what we were talking about is that, hey, they got some cops out here on them bullshit. So what you just said is those few cops are the representative of the entirety of them all. If you want to just go, tit for tat.
Yeah.
You just stated that.
See, this
if I'm using the same logic as you.
Yeah, see, this is the problem. There's nobody checking anybody. See, this is the thing. They say all these Black Lives Matter people are doing all these things, but no, we're not doing shit. Let's be real. The only death, the only killing by a quote unquote Black Lives Matter member was the Michael Johnson issue.
Yeah, and even
that's
then,
the only
that's
one anybody knows about. And that's an isolated incident. That's one isolated issue. Cop killings are going on all around the country.
Yeah, they just had.
We can't check this dude. We don't have the opportunity to check him anymore because you motherfuckers blew him up. Now, if you and Corey Holcomb said this, shout out to the 5150.
Oh, 5150.
Corey Holcomb said this. Matter of fact, it was after the whole Michael Johnson, Philando Castile on Sterling issue. He was like, "You're not a good cop if you allow bad cops to still be around."
No.
And it makes sense. It's like that's like me saying I'm a good team member. I'm a good team member to my teammates, but I don't check this nigga who's a bad teammate.
Nah,
or I don't take some action towards getting him removed from the team. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm gonna do my job and be the best at my job, but it's not just me anymore. Like when I chose to join this team, or like the cops do when they chose to join this force.
Profession.
They call them police force, but we'll go with profession. When they chose to join that police force or that profession, it is now your responsibility to check the ones who give you a bad name.
It's supposed to be that way. I mean, it's like if anywhere else you can't have somebody who is not productive and not say anything to them. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It's just the funny thing is that once you say that, and here's where it really boils down to. I hate using this term, but how people look at the people. Because it's like you're not mad at what happened, you're mad at who did it.
That's what it is.
And it's like this. It's like if you had Micah Johnson allegedly shooting at cops because he felt he was wronged, but then you said that Clive and Bunny and his crew, they were on point even though they shot at cops, pointed their guns at cops. I don't know if they shot them, but I know they said they were pointing their guns at everything at them as well. So I'm like, but a lot of people was happy about that. Oh yeah, they're patriotic and this and that, so on and so forth. And you're like, wait, I'm confused. It's like, is it good or is it bad? Or is it depend on who's doing it? That's the thing that nobody really want to be honest about. Hey, E, welcome.
What's up, bro? And I do agree with the second
point.
Whoa! Yeah. I'll explain off air what happened. I don't want the corporate overlords, my donors, to be coming after my ass.
We get shut down.
You better get your ass up, don't you say shit. We'll pull your donations.
Oh man. No, but what you were saying?
I do agree with the second point that you were making, that it is in part sometimes it's about the people who are doing it. It's that lack of reflection that some people have. It's some of the things that the Democratic Party falls flat on. It's like this finger pointing, like everybody's point at everybody else like, hey, nigga, it's your fault. Like, nah, actually, you may want to look back at yourself. Like, it may actually be your own fault that shit popped off. Or like,
but it is one of those things. But personal responsibility, I think, is like non-existent in a lot of cases unless we want to put it on somebody else. We'll easily tell somebody you should take responsibility and then not do that for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We'll easily give somebody advice that we're not going to follow.
Oh yeah, that fucking canned ass advice that everybody gives, like, oh, you should always save 10% or some garbage ass nonsense, or you should never live paycheck to paycheck. You know how?
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna say that that's not impossible, but for some people that's not practical. Like,
yes,
some people are in situations where you just can't. You just can't. Like, it's almost like a dismissive piece of advice to give somebody sometimes. Like, don't live paycheck to paycheck. Like, bitch, I got like 4 kids.
Well,
it's insensitive. It's what it is. Like,
we're always insensitive.
Well, that's true, but there's no understanding of said person's situation. You don't know that person has no chance to save a fucking quarter.
Hey, look, hey, sir. I don't have time to try to understand your situation. All I gotta do is I go do my thing, and you just gotta pull up your bootstraps and get it together.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is wearing boots? Shut up.
I don't know. I'm just saying. This is what I hear.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, man, hold on, man. Y'all need to just stop, because, like I said, man, white people can't tell black people how to do any fucking thing until you've taken the time to either walk in one of their shoes or taking the time to understand what the fuck they actually going through. If you don't take the time to understand what somebody's going through, then you are in no place to judge anybody.
Say, look here now, young man. I don't have time to do all that. The news or that box, the tube is gonna tell me everything I need to know about y'all folks.
Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna watch Fox News and take that shit as credible evidence.
Yeah. Why would they lie to me? Y'all need to stop. Y'all need
Fox
to stop
News don't push it. This is the funny thing. Fox News wasn't actually a bad station to a lot of people until Donald Trump said that it was a bad station. Am I wrong?
No.
Because Donald Trump is like, the election is rigged. The media is pushing this narrative, or he ain't say narrative. I don't think he knows the word. He's like, the media is trying to push this agenda and all of this old stuff. But that's the first place people will go to for their evidence, for their reasoning against black people.
What? Yeah. Well, I do agree to some extent, actually, with I might get shot, but I might get shot for this. But to a degree, I do think that there is some bit of bias against Donald Trump. But, the same could be said for, Bernie Sanders at times. That, sometimes, depending on the news story, you may have a person who's trying to draw a particular narrative in this news story to try to draw out a point. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, whenever you look at the news story, you're like, well, shit, he said they all against him. Therefore, it is like, nah, nigga, like if you look at this, like, let's say Exhibit A, and you look at this news story, and when he said at the second debate, he was like, we should have taken the oil. Like, there's no conflating that. Like, they had fucking cameras on that nigga. That ain't no, the news is making that shit. Nope, he said it. Here's the
That's what the fuck people are missing. The news isn't trying to push something against Donald Trump. They are only replaying what the fuck he said.
Mm-hmm. No, y'all misinterpret what he was saying. He was really just saying, if it's a young lady that he likes, he tend to grab her by the pussy. That's what happens.
And that's the biggest problem.
He's not saying that. He's not saying that you are dumb. He was just saying that people who pay taxes are dumb.
So.
No. Dude, you just don't shoot yourself in the foot for that shit.
But I mean, that's true, though. That's how the shit works. This motherfucker will definitely, he'll say some shit, and then the people will roll with it, and then defend it when it's somebody else who said the same thing. Donald Trump says, "Make America great again." Colin Kaepernick says, "America's not great right now."
Fuck
They
Colin
say the
Kaepernick.
same fucking thing.
Exactly what they were saying, and it's like,
make America great again. But I'm trying to tell y'all that America, and Colin Kaepernick's like, yo, I'm trying to tell y'all that America's not great, and here's why. He's giving you a fucking why. And Donald Trump ain't giving you shit.
No, he's Negro, so therefore what he has to say is moot.
He's a rich black football player. He doesn't need an opinion.
Basically, but Donald Trump's a rich real estate tycoon mogul. What is yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Like you say, he's been on TV, but Donald Trump's been on TV. He's had his own show for a couple seasons. So, I mean, make me understand. This is my thing. Make me understand what the fuck you talking about. If you can do that, you can do that, then I'll be like, you know what? Okay. If you can't, then I suggest you just sit there and just shut up, or sit there and learn something.
Man, I don't think that some of his constituents even know what the fuck is going on, because, like take a few days ago where he sent out that tweet about the election was rigged again, even because after the fact Hillary was saying that we're going to do a recount. I forget which states it was. Was it Michigan or something?
I think it was Michigan or Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, I want to say.
Wisconsin, I believe.
And he went out and see. This is like kind of the petty shit that I don't get. Like, even if you get a recount, it's not going to really matter. But like Trump, for whatever reason, still thought, okay, well, I'm going to tweet out some bullshit about the election is rigged because if 2 to 3 million people and 3 million illegal aliens did not vote, I would have won the popular vote. And I was like, huh?
But you won the fucking election. What the fuck does it matter?
Okay, I'm gonna ask this question then. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So does that mean that if he still wins, it's still rigged?
My thing is, okay, so he won the election, but he didn't win the popular vote. So if he says, okay, cool with the recount, and he wins the popular vote, it's like, dude, why did you won twice? Like, come on, bro. You're already one up. And all you gotta do is be like, look, all he has to do, and this is my opinion, all he has to say is, well, that's the way the Electoral College voted it. So, damn the popular vote. The Electoral College has spoken.
Yeah, but you know where he got that information from about that 2 to 3 million illegal aliens had voted, which that is an absurd amount of fucking people. He got that from InfoWars with Alex Jones.
Oh, Alex Jones.
InfoWars.
Man, and niggas was like, wait a minute, the president actually takes this guy. He takes the guy seriously who said that Hillary Clinton is a literal demon. It's like, you take that guy seriously. Wow.
Well, people take Donald Trump seriously, and he said that Barack Obama founded ISIS, and Hillary Clinton was right there with him. So, I mean, if you're gonna take anybody serious, I mean, I guess, whatever. Barack Obama founded ISIS. He founded it. Like, he'll say some retarded. I've noticed this pattern. Donald Trump will say some off-the-wall, extremely retarded, gibberish bullshit, right? And then after he says it, he'll gauge the audience's reaction. And then if it's good enough, he'll blow it up. And he'll go further with it. It's like a joke. If the joke lands the first time, then a good comedian will continue to feed from that joke. I mean, that's basically what Donald Trump does.
Man.
Maybe I'm tripping.
No,
I don't know.
I keep telling y'all, man, Donald Trump is pretending like he's one of these young and hungry battle rappers who only in his neighborhood know him. So, he got all his rhymes written down, so he keep spewing that left and right till he lose.
You know what's the most dangerous thing that I don't think necessarily our Constitution really covers is his huge conflict of interest with his business.
Oh, yeah.
Because he is the president and he's also a business owner, owns several businesses. So he could potentially cater the laws to favor
himself.
Yeah, and push his businesses just way like to be just complete worldwide corporations at this point.
He really
tax breaks across the board. Be like, shit, I'm gonna make my company fucking.
I'm going to make my. I'm already at the pinnacle. I'm at the apex of the political stature. So I'm finna use all of this shit. Every advantage I have, I'm about to use it. He can.
I mean, damn, it's even so dangerous to the point where he could potentially put himself at every single business arrangement in his corporation after every single trade agreement, or he can even get himself included in a sale of military weapons. He did
say he was going to give it to his kids. Like his kids are not going to run his businesses. The issue with that is that means that, and then he said something about blind trust and all that shit. So that would mean that if you're putting it in your kids, all of this stuff on your kids, then you will have to now not talk to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. Like he can't have any contact with his kids.
Well, it's actually funny because I think today he has struck a deal. He's supposed to have announced a deal with the United Technologies, a corporation that's owned by Carrier. And I think they were thinking about transferring their business to Mexico, but instead he gave them a better tax deal or a better corporate deal, which hold up. This actually brings up another question. So, but the thing is like, okay, he's already showing he's not really going at these corporations like he claimed he was. But the question is this: why is it okay for a corporation to receive a reparation, but your average person cannot? And what I mean by reparation, that's either a set aside or a deal or a tax cut or a tax break, loopholes. Why is it seen wrong when regular people do it, but you will be okay if a corporation does it, or you aren't as vocal?
Yeah. Oh, actually, that just reminded me. I had met up with my cousin. Well, she's probably going to be listening to this. I don't really care, but I met up with her on Sunday, and you have that family that you don't really talk to very much, and you like.
Yep.
And I'm like, what conversation can I strike up with her? And I was like, I know, I'm going to strike up the most controversial points ever.
Oh, shit.
So there was something to roll off of Quentin's point about corporations. When we were talking about raising the minimum wage, for people to a livable minimum wage, she started making all of these appeals to these corporations. Well, all these corporations can't be making all this, paying out all this money because, it just raises prices all across the board, supply and demand. And I told her, I was like, that model doesn't necessarily exist for all corporations. And corporations, in some instances, just raise prices just because.
Yep.
To the extent of where they're like, okay, to what extent can we raise the price on this item
and people still buy it?
Yeah, to where they can sustain. And it even gets more complicated with some situations. Like, if you go to like some oil shops, you see like these $15.99 or $10.99 oil changes. And you're like, well, damn, that's ridiculously cheap. Let me go in there. They losing money. Of course they're losing money because when you go over there, they're going to try to sell you all this other marked up shit. Oh, man, let's do a tune-up. Or, oh, man, let's check your tires. Let's do all this other shit. Like, that's how they make their money. So it is so much more. Like, the price of an item isn't directly connected to the price of how much it costs the corporation. So I think that in part she makes a lot of appeals to these corporations who makes millions and billions of dollars. And then you end up fucking yourself where you're working like 6-day work weeks, or some people working 2 jobs just to get $30,000, but yet you got 62 people who have as much wealth as the bottom 90%. So it's like, how the fuck does that really happen? Like, how do you have such a huge gap in your wealth between the impoverished and the wealthy?
Oh, I actually have somewhat of an answer to that one. A lot of those people actually invest in the prison system. If I would have known and I were hip to it, I would have invested in the prison system my damn self.
Damn it, man. Come on, man.
Hey, man, look, if I was that kind of person and I really wanted bread like that, I would have found a way to invest in the prison system because that's one of the biggest money makers in this country.
That's true.
Come on, cheap to free labor, and I don't have to do nothing.
Or you know
what I mean? That's like investing in a McDonald's. You know it's gonna make bread.
Yeah.
So I'm finna invest in the prison system, and that's what a lot of these corporations do. They invest in the prison system. That's where a lot of these cats get this money, but it may not even be the corporation investing in it. And in some cases it is. It might just be that individual investing in the prison system. Now you look at the boss like, yo, man, how you got all this bread, but the rest of us is broke? And then the business is kind of failing, but you just bought a new car and a new house. Like, how is the business failing if you're able to buy a new car and new house?
Yeah, that ain't even a thing, man.
I mean, it is what I don't know.
Oh,
but I mean,
man.
you could also, like, another way to kind of look at it is you could also be one of the investors in the Dakota Access Pipeline. I mean, I did not, or I guess to say big oil. Like, I always wondered why Donald Trump didn't really say anything about the Dakota Access Pipeline. I know why Hillary didn't, because of the TPP. But then I was wondering about Donald Trump, and it come to find out that he's actually one of the investors on the Dakota Access Pipeline.
Huh.
She is.
So, like, there was a big conflict of interest.
I was about to say, isn't that technically a conflict of interest? So if it had to come into a position where he had to halt that, would he be reluctant to do so or to sign a bill?
Yeah, most definitely. Shit.
Yep.
Man, look. Oh, man. Look, we're already running along. We won't be able to cover all these topics. I'm just saying.
We're gonna have to come back next week for sure to cover the rest of this shit.
The conflicts of interest that Donald Trump may be going through or should be actually brought up. And, of course, his thing on the rigged election that he somehow won. So I'm guessing the election is rigged. Hey, fuck it. Let's believe him.
That's crazy. He said, if I don't win, the election is rigged.
Yes.
If I do win, he didn't give anything for if he did win. He just said, if I don't win.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, like, so if you win, then okay, cool.
So it's still not rigged. It's not rigged because you won?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Explain this shit to me, bro.
Kind of like, you know how, matter of fact, he reminded me of that kid, you know how every time they lose, they always say, man, you was cheating. I wasn't ready.
But the first time they win, it's like, man, shit, I won fair and square.
Yeah. Oh, man, no, man, I ain't calling that one back.
Man. See, it's just that childish bullshit right there, man.
It is.
He lost. It's rigged. He won. It's rigged. Make up your mind, nigga.
He's that kid. He's that fat kid. Since he don't get picked for play basketball, he's just gonna take the ball and leave.
Oh damn! That's hilarious.
I think every one of us have had that interaction in our childhood with that kid who had all those superpowers. Like he was that one dude who just couldn't set on one power. He was just like, I'm just gonna be that guy who has like ice breath.
Oh yeah,
laser eye, super strength. It's like this nigga would not. Like he's like, oh really? You got super strength? I got super hard skin.
That guy.
They were the Eric Cartman of real life situations.
Oh come on, man.
Hey, you saw the episode.
Oh, that's why I'm laughing.
You remember the episode? He's like, it's like I have all of the powers of everybody. It's like, wait a minute, you can't just do that. Pick something and stick with it, motherfucker. Nope.
Nah, man, because I just can't lose. So yeah, I got everything.
Yeah,
man.
It's like, come on, dog.
All right, so man, what's going on this weekend, man?
Not a damn thing, bro. I actually want to go see Fantastic Beast. I want to see that movie.
I might actually. Well, shit, I got homework, but I might actually try to catch a movie myself because I still gotta watch. What's the name of that Marvel movie? Shit, I'm drawing blank, man.
Doctor Strange.
There you go.
Doctor Strange.
I gotta go see that still.
Yes, you do.
Man, that shit is fly.
Yo, look. This is my for anybody watching the show or listening in. If you've never seen Doctor Strange, and I hope you haven't, my advice to you: don't get high and go watch this movie. Like for real, this shit will have you all over the damn place. Do not get high and go and be like, yeah, man, I'm finna go watch Doctor Strange high, or don't do no type of drug and talk about going watch Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm. Don't go watch it in 3D either while you're hiding the motherfucker too.
Yeah, my line?
Tripping.
It'll trip you. I swear, it's trippy.
Because
I'm trying to follow it.
Because it just it pivots. Like it pivots so fast that you don't see it coming.
Yeah. If you've seen, matter of fact, I know a lot of people have seen the previews. So I'm gonna say this. If you've seen Inception, imagine that with superheroes.
Oh man.
That's basically that's in a sense what it is. I mean, just deeper and more mystical, but yeah, it's Inception with superheroes. Motherfuckers jumping in and out of places. Like the shit have had you all over the place. The color scheme itself is off the chart.
Yeah, fucking buildings flipping, niggas teleporting in places. You like, god damn.
So man, I might actually go check it out. I might check out a matinee or something. Yeah, I'm that guy now.
Do it with your old ass.
Hey man, we all getting shit, nigga. I'll be 30 next year. That's crazy. It's hard to believe, but
shit, me too.
Shit, I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. It's my pops wasn't lying when he said as soon as you get out of high school, time flies. But I'll probably do that. Of course, I'm gonna be packed with homework and bullshit too. But Rito, what about you? Anything going on?
Nothing this weekend. I might do some home projects or something like that, man. I gotta fix my back porch, see if I can pick that shit back up. Other than that, it's your basic. I might do some actual holiday shopping this year.
I already got it over with. I got it started. I'll say that.
Don't stress me out right now when you say holiday shopping.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
it is what it is, man. I just might do some holiday
job, nigga.
Man, I'm gonna say all that shit that I'm about to say off air.
Oh man, but Let me go ahead and also put out my shout outs, man. You know, Pod Squad, John Effect, Real Raw. Big ups to we got Good Morning Beautiful. Also big ups to Bree. She came on with me the other day. You know, I appreciate all that. I wrote there's a lot of them, man. You know, Takinia Talks, Orange Chicken, the Podcast Brothers. Congrats again. The boys actually about to appear on the radio show.
Hey.
So, hey, big ups to that. Too Uncool is back in the game, so the boys actually dropping that episode. Y'all make sure to check them out. Also, my homie BG, I think he's talking about dropping another episode pretty soon, so y'all make sure to check that out with Inside the Friend Zone podcast. Other than that, there's a lot of other people out here. If I missed you, my bad. It's a lot of y'all, but hey, I'm just saying, Pod Squad, stand up. Also, to all my classmates that's doing big things out there, y'all already know I done drop these guys every time, man. Matter of fact, I need to go ahead and get my man Ken Z on the episode. We can start talking about why business is important, especially entrepreneurship. But that'll be another show. Other than that, anybody else got anything else?
Built off of it. Everything was started with an entrepreneur from an entrepreneurial standpoint.
That's right, man. The thing is if you have your own business, you can hire folks there. You can try to set the stage yourself. But, you know, I understand everybody can't do it. So I get it. Other than that, man, we finna go ahead and get up out of here. I know
no final thoughts, Q?
For a minute, but we're stuck. Anybody new, thank you for coming in. Anybody who's continuing, thank you for just continuing to support. Appreciate it. We out.
Trust me, girl, I know. I start taking your clothes off. Just like that, when I hit it from the back, you throw that back, look up in your eyes. And you ain't trying to show it. I can tell you wanna say something, but you ain't trying to blow it. Trust me, girl, I know. I start taking your clothes off. Just like that, when I hit it from the back, you throw that